Hey, Robert Zinni here from 5enses. This is 5enses Unplugged here at Back Alley Wine Bar in Prescott, Arizona. Our guest is Zander Rodriguez. He's gonna tell us a little bit about his passion of music and talk a little bit about something that's not so musical. So sit back, relax, grab your favorite glass of wine, and enjoy another episode of the 5enses webcast. Hey everyone, Zinni here at the Back Alley Wine Bar, sitting down with Zander Rodriguez. I'm enjoying some wine and we're about to enjoy some of his music. Zander, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty well. How you doing, Robert?
Doing great. So I've noticed that you've been getting a lot of attention here in Prescott because I Instagrammed you earlier today and you have like 5 shows coming up. So like, how is it being one of like the main staples here in Prescott where you're playing every night?
I mean, first off, it's pretty humbling because I recently moved up here, and it goes to show that Prescott is a very, one, cool scene, but 2, a very supportive scene. You have people that really appreciate live music. You have venues that also appreciate live music. And from traveling quite a bit, you don't really see that too often. So I think it's a testament to just, 1, the people that I've surrounded myself with and the support from people that I've met. And 2, I really, really enjoy this, and it seems to be working out in that regards, where it's allowing me to play out 4 or 5 nights a week, and it hasn't gotten stale yet. And that's the aim, just not to make it stale. So
that is always the key.
Yeah.
So my first real question for you is, are you more of a white wine guy or a red wine? Since we're here at the Back Alley Wine Bar.
I'm honestly more of a Coors Light guy.
Okay, nice.
Tell you the truth.
Do you tap the Rockies sometimes?
No. I'm not that familiar with Coors. I just like to drink it.
All right. The tagline is "Tap the Rockies, Coors Light." Anyone? Thank you. All right. So, what has inspired you to become a musician, or when did you start becoming a musician?
Well, I mean, I guess going way back, my stepdad had a piano, so I'd always noodle around on that, and just music always caught me in a way. For a lot of other people. My dad was a guitarist. My stepdad played piano, and it just kind of, I don't know, grew on to me. And then I first picked up a guitar after seeing School of Rock, the Jack Black movie. And I actually played bass for about 6 months. And then throughout my teens, I would kind of play it off and on, just more like tablature warrior, if that makes sense. And when I was 19, I moved out to California, and I forgot what song it was, but I'm like, there's got to be more to this, and I wanted to take it more seriously. So I started playing a little bit more serious, like studying, music theory and like proper technique, and just developing my ear. And when I was in Huntington or Long Beach, that's when I started performing out, going to open mics when I was like 25, 26. And would just kind of do it just for fun, and then got a gig offer, and it's like, oh, this is cool. And then you play and you make money, and you're like, oh, this is really fun. And then, just with a couple buddies, started a band. And then from there, ended up getting with some really good musicians, and then kind of doing a little tours in California, going to San Diego, Palm Desert and stuff like that. And then I started getting into studio work. So I did a lot of recording, a lot of production when I was still back in California. And then say about 1.5 years ago, I moved to Arizona. The country bug bit me and started writing songs and learning, that kind of stuff, and just haven't looked back since.
Nice. So what is it about country music that is drawing your creativity right now?
I think what it does for me is the truth within it. I think that there's a lot of truth in country music. Not all country music, but the majority of it, especially the older stuff. But even now, contemporary country, if you listen to the right people, I feel there's a difference between just cookie cutter and authenticity. Like Townes Van Sant said, there's 2 types of music. There's blues and zippity-doo-dah. And he's like, I don't play zippity-doo-dah. And I think that when it comes to country, just the storytelling in almost simplistic melodies, but it's drawn from like Celtic and just things that came way before us. And I think that's embedded within that genre. Now, I'm not saying other genres don't have, authentic lyricism and stuff, but I feel like country, when done, I don't want to say correctly, but just when it's done authentically, you feel it. Because, at the end of the day, we're all human and we have experiences, and you can speak in metaphors and things like that. But if you just communicate something directly to the point, I think it resonates with people.
Light another cigarette, just hoping to forget. I've been hurting so damn much because of you. I miss the days of fun out in the summer sun, but the fall is making me feel so damn blue. I wish the joy back in July would circle back on by, but you won't see me cry, but it's raining hard tonight. I guess the honeymoon is over and our love has run sober. The high I used to feel has got me sinking pretty low. Thought I knew you better, but I never read that letter written in your eyes as time passed by. I should've never took your word, because your actions never were something I could trust, because my gut was on fire. I wish the joy back in July would circle back on by, but you won't see me cry, but it's raining hard tonight. I guess the honeymoon is over and our love has run sober. The high I used to feel has got me sinking pretty low. The high I used to feel has got me sinking pretty low. Wish the joy back in July would circle back on by, but you won't see me cry, but it's raining hard tonight. Guess the honeymoon is over and our love has run sober. The high I used to feel has got me sinking pretty low. The high I used to feel has got me sinking pretty low. The high I used to feel has got me sinking pretty low.
So I noticed that you use loop pedals, with your country music. So how are you adapting, or how are you fusing the loops with the country music?
Well, I will also say this. I think that my music is country based, but I feel that I draw from a lot of different influences, you know, that I've accumulated over the years. So if we're going into that route, like with country music, it's mainly 1, 4, 5, just, you know, first chord, fourth chord, fifth chord, you know, within the scale. So that allows for a lot of freedom when it comes to just being able to do a couple bar loop. And, you know, I'm a guitar player first, singer second, songwriter third. Or actually, no, songwriter second, singer third, I would say. So why I use the loop pedal, because it allows me to be able to make a loop, solo over it a little bit, get out, finish the song. Because I used to do loop stuff when I used to play like reggae and other genres. Nice. And the thing is, you can end up on a 13-minute journey that nobody's really trying to hear.
If you have some good ganja, then it's okay, right?
You know, everybody got their taste. So I will say, what's nice about it is it allows me to do some looping and just, you know, play some leads. And then when I play solo, I feel like it just adds to the performance. I like to be able to take things out of the box a little bit. And, you know, I feel that's where I get to get a lot of my creativity out, especially in the moment, is from the loop pedal. Because I have a band now, Zander, Rodriguez and Company, and that allows for just a bigger sound that I hear in my head. But we haven't got to the point of tightness yet to where we can just play off each other and just kind of go for it, you know, and that will develop over time. But when I'm playing by myself, I can use everything that I've learned and just be able to, take it where I want.
Nice. So basically you're saying with your new band, you haven't learned how to communicate effectively, where you can like jam out or like trust where one person takes over.
Well, like I would say a band's like a relationship, you know? It's like you're not going to know everything about somebody when you first meet them, right? Mm-hmm. So you have 4 or 5 other individuals that you're learning their tendencies, their nuances, you know, and when you're playing in a live setting, like sometimes you click with people more, sometimes you don't at all. But I will say with these guys, we clicked right away, but I can't just start changing chords and changing progressions and expect, you know, Scott to just fall right in, or, you know, our fiddle player to just be able to go like that. Over time, you know, everybody kind of has their own rhythm. They have their own traits. Mm-hmm. So the longer that we're together, we'll be able to just kind of to ride that.
Right. You know? So I know you play with one of my homeboys, Nick Canuel.
Shout out.
And it was fun. He was my first music interview. And I think it was like an hour. We didn't know what we were doing back then 2 years ago. It was like an hour, but I loved just Nick's demeanor and how he like describes the songs or the stories about his songs. And so I know you're going to be playing a song that you got inspired by Nick a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I was having beers with Nick at a bar nearby, and we were just kind of, you know, talking shop and, you know, talking about hooks and songs and all that. And he's a songwriter himself. And he says, you know, I have a lot of hooks that I feel like are good for like country that I just been sitting on. And I'm like, oh, well, what's one of them? And the first one he said was "Leaving Looks Good on You." And then like all of a sudden, I don't know, there's, as I've gotten older, I guess I've just kind of channeled songwriting a little bit more to where either like a melody will stick out or just like a phrase, and it just kind of sticks with you and you're like, you got to do something with it. It just kind of claws at you a little bit. And that's something that really stood out to me because it's like you're wearing somebody going, you know, it brings cool imagery. So I went home that night, wrote some lyrics to it, and then started introducing it to the band and playing it out, and it seems like it's getting good reception, and we're going to be recording it in October. So
sweet.
It'll be cool.
So are you recording like a EP or an LP in October?
We'll see. I think we're going to do 5 songs, but just depending on how everything goes, it might be 2 songs, 1 song, 8 songs. Just, you know, I probably have about 20 songs that I've written, but I've only shown the band, I don't know, upwards like 5 to 7. And I've only really played out probably 10.
Okay.
So it's just kind of figuring out which ones are the strongest, which ones do we feel like are going to translate live? Because that's the most important thing I feel nowadays, is having a great record, but then being able to play it live and showcase it.
gave you love as currency, 'cause your love didn't come free. I thought your looks really mattered to me, but you got a 2-star personality. I tried to ride with you for a while, but I was just driving denial down a 1-lane interstate. It was my mistake to make. And after all that we've been through, leaving looks good on you. And after all that we've been through, leaving looks good on you. How many months, how many years, how many shots, how many beers, too many tears wasted on you. I will say your taste and fashion made up for your lack of passion. We were bound for a chain reaction, and girl, here's the truth. 'Cause after all that we've been through, leaving looks good on you. 'Cause after all that we've been through, leaving looks good on you. So don't trip out the door as you go looking for more. I hope you find who you're looking for, with a heart that bleeds green. After all that we've been through, leaving looks good on you. After all that we've been through, leaving looks good on you. So don't trip out the door as you go looking for more. I hope you find who you're looking for, with a heart that bleeds green. And after all that we've been through, leaving looks good on you. After all that we've been through, leaving looks good on you.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you all very much.
So, Zander, you're a very talented musician. However, I don't know if our audience will know this, but you're also a very talented shooter or paintballer.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
So how did you get into professional paintballing? If that's the correct term, like,
yes,
you know,
it
I don't
is.
want to step
It
on
is.
anybody's toes.
It is, yes. So when I was 14, freshman year of high school, I just made varsity baseball. I was really big into sports growing up, and I went to a friend's birthday party and had the time of my life. We went paintballing out in the desert, up in like Cave Creek, down in Cave Creek, I should say. And it just, I don't know. it just kind of stung me, and I'm like, this is sweet. And then started seeing it on ESPN, and I'm like, wow, you could actually do this professionally. So with all things in my life, good or bad, I'm very, dedicated, and I have a lot of discipline with the things that I choose to do. And that's something that I just kind of really worked hard at. And it took me a couple years. I would start to go to California back and forth, just playing in national tournaments, working up divisions. And when I was 19 and I started to study music, I had actually moved out to California, did music, just for fun and just working at little odd jobs for a year. I had taken paintball off, and then went down a year later to go practice with an old teammate of mine, long story short. And it was actually a practice between two of the top teams in the world that were preparing for, the World Cup that was every year, in Florida. Played well enough that the coach invited me back the next weekend, played well enough to where they invited me out to Florida because one of the players might not have been able to play. He actually ended up playing, but they reserved a spot for me the next year. So that was in 2012. So for the last 10 years, 11 years of my life, I've been competing in professional paintball. It's allowed me to travel around the world and make a livelihood doing something that's very obscure and that not a lot of people know about. But gotten to go to Europe, Australia, South America, everywhere in the US. And
that sounds like a sick deal.
It was pretty sweet. It was cool. But, I won a world championship when I was 25. And then after that, I had kind of accomplished everything I wanted to in paintball. So I really wanted to take the next step, I felt, in my life, which was music. So that's where I was balancing professional paintball career with a budding music career. And I mean, if you live somewhere as, competitive as LA, you're not going to get anywhere half-assing anything. Well, actually in life, you're not really going to get, in my opinion, you're not really going to get anywhere half-assing anything. So there was a couple years there where I was pretty conflicted just because I was just balancing these two things that I both loved, but I knew that I needed to make a break of like, I'm either going to do this or I'm going to do that. And it wasn't until earlier this year that me and some teammates, we kind of formed a super team, got paid a lot of money. We're supposed to get paid even more money, but our owner screwed us over, and we lost out on a lot of stuff that it's kind of like, well, maybe this is the breaking point to where it's time to focus on music. And the timing with that, I was living in Wickenburg and Scottsdale at the moment, and then started visiting Prescott quite a bit. And started noticing the music scene up here, and just would go to open mics and, go see J-Rad on Mondays and stuff, and just kind of be a fly on the wall and just be like, wow, this is a really cool town. And then funny enough, one day in April, went to go see Don Cheek with Anton Testner. They were playing at a bar nearby, and I was like, Don, I've written these songs, man. Like, do you want to listen to them, or could we go back and forth? He's like, I'm busy, but go to the Back Alley Wine Bar. Every Tuesday night they do this songwriter showcase. And I'm like, that sounds pretty sweet. And so I came here, and the host that I hadn't met yet, Andrew Deering, who normally does it, but wasn't here. But Frank Ping, the man who originally started it, was here. So I came in, played a couple songs, met some really, really cool people that, kind of helped me propel forward, I guess you could say, with meeting others. And Frank put in a good word to Andrew, and then I started coming a little bit more regularly. And it just kind of blossomed from there. And I was like, I think I need to move up here. I was just super unsure about what I was going to do with paintball. So I had gone out to California recently. My car got totaled. That was a whole different thing. So bought a minivan.
Hey, why not?
Drove back out.
Log all the gear, right?
The Mama Mobile.
Yeah.
It's great. And took out a seat, got a little twin mattress, threw it in the back. And I'm like, I'm going to stay up here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, see how long I can ride it out. And 2-3 weeks later, got an opportunity to move into an apartment right down the street. And just started making more connections, and was hanging around Back Alley Wine Bar more, and Tiana, who books the music here, offered me my first gig.
Oh,
and I was
nice.
like, that's pretty sweet. And from there, just kind of was just trying to hit every corner of the town that I could. And it just ended up being something to where I would fill in for this person, or I'd accompany that person, or get this gig offer. And then I just kept pushing. And all of a sudden just has kind of blossomed into something that honestly, I would have never guessed happening. But it's been a really, really cool blessing being able to say that I can do music 100% full time, not have to rely on paintball, because I get hit up almost every other day to go back and play for this team at this tournament. Like, I was supposed to be in Europe 2 weeks ago, but ultimately with all the success that the band is having, I really want to see all this through and just work as hard as possible to, one, just continue and establish, a good name around town, but ultimately get our music out and start traveling more. Like, We're going to be doing a tour through California in November. We're playing a festival next April in California. There's just a lot of cool things on the horizon kind of coming up. And it's been, it's been a pretty incredible journey so far. And I'm excited to see what happens moving forward.
On behalf of Prescott, because I am a pretentious person producer, we really appreciate your talents here with music, because the one thing that I can tell you about Prescott is when you're a Prescottonian, it's people helping people, you know? So I appreciate you taking your time out of your day to come and drink some wine with us and play some music here at the Back Alley Wine Bar. I have a few quick hits, though, before we wrap up the interview.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Favorite baseball team?
Man, I don't really watch baseball anymore, but growing up, D-backs, of course.
Okay. The professional athlete that inspired you the most?
Man, that's a great question. I would say Muhammad Ali. Man, who else? I'd have to trace back. There's so many little different people that I pulled from and stuff, but I would say Muhammad Ali. Okay. There's just something about like a boxing mentality that I think is just really applicable in all walks of life.
Hey, I also want to say that you talked about self-discipline, and that's where a lot of the greatness comes from with the individual. So I really appreciate you bringing up self-discipline, because it's not like I'm going to start picking up a guitar and tomorrow I'm going to be a musician, or I'm going to pick up a paintball and I'm going to do that, or I'm going to talk in front of a camera in my garage, John, and then become a host, right? There we go.
Never had.
All right. Musician who's inspired you the most?
Oh, man. See, I don't know if there's like different levels to it, because I feel like the super little amount of like information can allow you to grow, extremely, a lot. And, I draw from like Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer, B.B. King, Willie Nelson, band called Revolution, Sublime. Like, there's just so many that just, it's hard to just pinpoint one or two, like Jimi Hendrix. Like, there's just all these different characters and, artists and just musicians that you can hear something on the radio and that, I've listened to something and I'll be like, oh, wow, that's cool. And then I'll go home and I'll write something and it's just like, try to channel that in, like, what I heard and make it my own. And just, I don't know, just, I've gotten to the point where I don't really exclude anything. If it hits you, it hits you. Try your best to channel it,
Sweet. All right. And so, Zander, the last most important question, the $64,000 question is, where can we get more information to listen to some of your awesome music?
Can't do it. Well, you can go to zanderrodriguez.com. I try to update it, but honestly, with how busy we're getting, I could really use a website developer or like a social media, somebody who can do like all the logistical stuff, because it is freaking ridiculous. Honestly, fuck it. I don't like it.
All right.
But
I think I know somebody.
But like, for real, ZanderRodriguez.com. I would say I'm most active on Instagram and Facebook, which is just look up Zander Rodriguez, Zander.Rodriguez.music. Apparently there's other Zander Rodriguez's in the world. And I
just
can't.
shoot them with a paintball and they'll be dead, right?
No, they'd probably just be pissed off and I'd catch a charge.
All right.
But Zander Rodriguez, and from there we're recording in October at the Raven Studio.
Awesome. Yeah, great people over there.
Which will be pretty cool. And then we'll see what the heck happens.
Sweet. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Thanks, Zander, for joining us here at the Back Alley Wine Bar. I had a great time. And we're going to send our audience off with one of your songs.
I'm a hypocrite for asking you to be transparent when I won't really tell you how I feel. You spend the night every other night and I thought I knew the deal, but I just can't be catching something that's close to feeling real. And time will come and go, but there's no come and go. And you might be good for me in the long run, but now I'm gonna turn around and run. 'Cause one day you'll be a ghost to me. Different clicks, the clock will tick and hands will start to bleed. The hours spent lying on my summer-soaked sheets will slowly turn to faded memory. My summer-soaked sheets will slowly turn to faded memory. Oh no, oh no. You left your mark in the dark, across my chest above the heart. It's a good thing that this shirt covers me. And all the nights I got carried away, you never did. I'll welcome your stay, it's a shame, but I'ma have to turn and leave. And time will come and go, but there's no come and go. And you might be good for me in the long run, but now I'm gonna turn around and run. 'Cause one day you'll be a ghost to me. Different clicks, the clock will tick and hands will start to bleed. The hours spent lying on my summer-soaked sheets will slowly turn to faded memory. My summer-soaked sheets will slowly turn to faded memory. Oh no, oh no. One day you'll be a ghost to me. Different clicks, the clock will tick and hands will start to bleed. The hours spent lying on my summer-soaked sheets will slowly turn to faded. 'Cause one day you'll be a ghost to me. Different clicks, the clock will tick and hands will start to bleed. The hours spent lying on My summer-soaked sheets will slowly turn to faded memory. My summer-soaked sheets will slowly turn to faded memory. Oh no, oh no, no.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the 5enses webcast. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. Remember, you can get all your science, culture, and art information at 5ensesmag.com. Pick it up in one of your favorite local restaurants or stores, and also visit us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.